Alright, what I'm going to be doing today is replacing the regulator rectifier module as well as the battery for my 1984 Honda CB450SC Nighthawk. Regulator failure is a fairly common occurrence on these older bikes, older electronics getting on 35 years, they don't last forever. Alright, so failure mode of the stock regulator and rectifier is there's a couple things that can happen. One, the rectifier can start to wear out. And for those who don't know, what a rectifier does is it takes the alternating current from the is it an alternator in a bike? I don't know. Generator right under here produces alternating current, which is no good at all for anything on the bike. So the rectifier turns the alternating current into direct current, and that can start to fail and let alternating current leak through, which will cook your battery basically and damage your battery. And the regulator can fail. It's supposed to be like 14 and a half volts is all you're supposed to have at full power when the bike's running. They can let 15, 16 volts through, and that'll also destroy your battery, and that's what happened to my bike. So yeah, not only does the regulator go bad, but if you keep running a bad regulator too long, it will also destroy your battery permanently. And it's a bit of a subtle failure mode, because it took me a bit to figure out, but because I would charge the battery on my external charger and it would get up to 13 or so volts, give or take, which is a healthy charge for a lead acid battery. Put it back in the bike, lights light up, headlight lights up bright, nice and good. Then you go to start it, and it won't start. And you check, and you go to start it, and the voltage drops to like 10, 9, 8 volts. So basically, when you try and put any substantial load on the battery can't provide the load. So the battery looks healthy when you charge it and you turn the power on the bike, but the moment you try and pull a load on it, it's got no power. And that's basically it. The battery's dead. There's not really any way to fix it. There's some questionable things on the internet say you can revive batteries, but it's pretty much bullshit. You can kind of extend the life of a battery if it's going bad, but sooner than later you're gonna have to just suck it up and buy a new battery. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So let's get on to the first part. Alright, so first step of the whole process is to take out the bad battery, because you don't want to be working on the electronics of this bike while the circuit's still alive. So I'm going to start with a negative here. You can see a flap blade. This is not really the right size, but these aren't on super tight. Just take that off. Pull it out carefully. This is just a lead from my plug from my trickle charger. And this is the lead that goes to the battery. Just pull that out of the way. Don't force things too much, because this is a 35-year-old bike. If your bike is similarly aged, stuff gets a little brittle. So undo the positive. Keep them all apart. Don't short anything out. And get this out of the way. Good. Yeah, drop that on the floor like a professional. Let's take the positive, move it out of the way. Where'd that bolt go? There it is. I think my battery came with new bolts. Don't know if everyone's battery will come with new bolts, but that's kind of nice. And then where are we at? Oh, there's a little pin here. Gotta pull that up and out. That should release this flappy thing. No, there's a screw. I'm blind. Yeah, there's a screw on this side as well. There we go. A screw. It's kind of spring-loaded on there. Just watch that. Pop that off. Slide it out. Carefully, remember this is a flooded cell. It will spill sulfuric acid everywhere if you tip it. So careful of that. There's also on the battery terminals, there's two little nuts. Don't lose those. Yeah, battery's out. That's it for now. Oh yeah, and there's a little plastic tray thing that the battery sits in, and yeah, that's it. That's all there is to taking the battery out. Set that aside. You know, dispose of it properly. Don't just chuck it in a landfill because it is full of lead and acid, and that's just no good, really. Alright, so now to get to the regulator, we're on the left side of the bike. You just got to reach under your seat, pop the seat off, stow that somewhere out of the way, and then here, just gently pull the side panel off, gently, because it's old plastic, it's brittle. There you go, side panel's off. Set that somewhere. And then your stock regulator is back here behind this plug. Looks like I need a socket or a wrench of some sort to get that off. I'm just going to unplug these plugs, get them out of the way, make it easier. Might clean those off a little too while I'm at it, because they're a little corroded looking, and corrosion makes resistance go up, which makes heat, and suddenly all your connectors are melted and you're like completely out of a wiring harness. Which is no fun at all. So these slide out like this. I've never done this before. I haven't found any manuals. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. It usually turns out fairly good. Slide these out. And I think I don't have to remove this whole bracket if I can just... No, those. Yeah, gonna have to take this whole bracket off because these are welded on. These are not just nuts. They're affixed in place. Okay, need a wrench. Alright, found a wrench. Probably a bit too big for this task, honestly. But it's the first one I found. Looks like a 10 mil bolt on there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's break it loose and then undo it by hand. Might just have to take this one bolt out if I can get it out easily enough. There's that. Don't lose that, obviously. Yeah, I can just kind of pull this aside. And there's more bolts. Except I can't get to them with a wrench, so I'm going to have to go find a socket. Okay. Found a 10 mil socket. Found a broken wrench. Doesn't have a ratchet, so this is probably going to be... Oh, never mind. The ratchet works! Just needed a little encouragement. Maybe. Or it's broken and it's now stuck in the wrong fucking direction. Maybe. Oh, no. I think we got her. Okay, so... This is a 10 mil. There's two bolts holding this thing in. Break them loose. Don't know how you can see that. Easy enough. And this should be able to do it by hand now. Yeah, I'll grab the camera and come around so you can see. So this is the regulator right here. Bolt here and the bolt in here. 10 millimeter. Just break them off. Well, don't break them off, get them off. Set those aside. Yeah, this is really not a hard thing to do, generally. Yeah. That's the other one. Yeah, just dangling in the breeze. Where do those go? Okay. Ah, okay. That's... I see how it goes together now. Yeah, one lead right here. That is your DC side. And this lead here with the 3 yellow wires, that is your AC side from the generator, stator, alternator, I don't know what it's called on the motorcycle. Your spinny power thingy. Second lead coming off your regulator right here with the 3 yellows. Comes up and around here. This plug right here is from the stator or generator, whatever. This is the AC off the power thingy. How's that clipped on? Okay, so there we go. Yeah, that's pretty corroded too. So yeah, while you're doing this, might be a good idea to go in a little sandpaper and some contact cleaner, scrape these off, make sure they're in good shape so you don't get any high resistance in there. So there's the old regulator, rectifier regulator. It's all the same thing. This is the original one. Shindengen, Japan. I think they still make, I think that company still makes these, so. Actually, I think the one I have a replacement for might actually be the same brand, so that's cool. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty much the hardest it's gonna get doing this. I'll grab the new one. This is just for comparison. This is the old one. This is the new one. You can see it's a bit bigger, blacker, more heat sinking, thicker leads. Yeah. I got this one from Spark Moto. I'll probably put a link down in the description. I'm not affiliated with them, it's just so people can buy it. Nice thing is, you when you buy one of these, they'll ask you what bike you have, you tell them the model, and they'll actually do up the wiring harness. So it's plug and play, no fuss, no pain, no suffering, just bolt it in, good to go. So again, it's got these wide slots. I'm hoping it'll just be a direct fit on the voltage. I don't have to dig out an angle grinder or a Dremel and modify anything, so. Let's see if that lines up. Looks like it, yeah. Yeah, so the holes all line up. Good to go on that. I'll bolt this back in. Maybe. The bolts aren't long enough. Yeah, the new one's thicker. Okay. I'm going to have to run to the hardware store and buy longer bolts. Yeah, didn't count on that. This part here is considerably thicker than here. This bolt not going to reach through, so bear that in mind. You might have to go get slightly longer bolts for the new regulator. That's not a big deal. Bolts are cheap and easy to get. Yeah, gonna run to the hardware store, get some new hardware, and get back to this. Alright, back from the store with some new bolts. Should be good to go now. So yeah, here's the new bolt I just got. Here's the stock one. A bit longer, should be enough. Let's see. Yeah, see, now that'll go through and do bolt things where it's supposed to. Yeah, if you need to get a set of bolts, these are M6 by 1 thread, and these are 25 millimeters long, so if you need, you'll probably need those. I don't think they came with this. It might have, and I might have just thrown them out because I was a bit excited when this came in the mail. So yeah, just put this back on now. The holes lined up, probably blocking the view. Yeah, there we go. Let's get that started, threaded in. Okay, it's a bit taller and this lip here is pushing on it, but I think I can just bend this little edge here up and out of the way and it should all be good. So I'm just going to try and do that. So I can just do that with these little channel locks. I'm going to have to take this off. Maybe. Actually, I might be able to grip that. Oh yeah, that'll work. Hopefully. Yeah, just kind of be me and just be like, bend the bracket out of the way. I mean, there's probably a better way to go about this, but I don't know, and I don't really care. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just bit of metal, and just coming back here, just bend this up and out of the way. Nothing to it. A bit ugly. That should work. I overdid it here now. Let's get that kinda. Yeah, that'll do. I'm happy with that. It just gets it out of the way so it can sit more flush. Probably some like actual mechanics out there screaming right now. But I'm not a mechanic. I'm just an idiot who watches YouTube videos. Before I plug everything in, I'm going to clean out the contacts on the bike side because they're a little, I got a bit of the green death on them, a bit of corrosion, so I've got some 400 grit sandpaper. Could probably use other grits. Don't think it's too. I'm just gonna tear off a little strip. This is just how I clean contacts off. Just come in here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Bit oxidized, bit corroded. Just gonna come in here with the sandpaper. Scrape that off, sand it off. After I sand them off, a little contact cleaner, just good hosing, shake it down. Yeah, that just cleans it off. Make sure there's no metallic dust floating around in there because you don't want that. And just rinse and repeat for all the connectors. Alright, so got all the connectors sanded and cleaned off with the contact cleaners, and I'm going to put everything back together. So this is the harness for going into the generator. I'm going to feed that under. Get that all in. There we go. Back in place. And then this red one goes right back in here. This goes from there. Where'd this one go? Oh, like that, I see. Okay, so red plug back in. Make sure the tab's in, clicks in good. And red, green. So like this. Yeah. 2 pins on this. This one's not used anymore. Going like that, hopefully. Yeah, that's in. Did it go in there? I think so. Doesn't quite reach the same. Oh, it's because it's down like that. Duh. I'm so smart. Okay, get that all lined up. Oh, the heatsink is in the way. Okay. That doesn't line up anymore. Shit. That's all the way up on there. I have an idea. I'm going to loosen this one off. I'm going to have to loosen this one as well. I'm going to have to loosen the regulator a little bit here, I think. And hopefully I can get clearance between that. There we go. So yeah, just loosen off these bolts a little bit. And that should let this tab here. Okay, need a little more. So yeah, basically loosening the regulator a little bit so that this here where the bolt goes through can slide under the heatsink just a bit, and then it should all fit. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, there we go. Should give me the clearance I need, and should line up. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit loose, but once everything's together, it should be good. Yeah, it's quite a tight fit. This new regulator is just a bit bigger, and it's throwing the whole thing off. Again, there's probably a better way of going about this than what I'm doing, but I gotta do what I gotta do to get this to work. There we go. Yeah, you might have to strong arm it just a bit to get it to thread, but should be good now. What am I gonna do? I think for this, I'll do pop this out, come up like this, and then use this to hold that down. And 2 pins like that. There, nothing's flopping around. Plug everything back in. Yes, I did. Yeah, new regulator. Mostly a drop-in fit with some slight tweaking, but not too hard. Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than the stock one. Should be better thermal characteristics and all that fun stuff. So we can put this panel back on now, and we will be good to go on the new regulator. Hooray! So one other thing I forgot to mention with the battery, there's a tube right here. I don't know how you can see that. I'll get my light, just make sure. Let's see. So there's a tube right here that goes into the battery. This is the overflow, so if the battery boils over or anything, it'll go through this tube and out underneath the bike and not all over your frame and melt everything. And judging by the fact that this is swollen and kind of charred looking, I'm gonna say this tube saw some use at one point or another. So I'm gonna cut this top off because it's swollen so much it can't fit through the hose. And the new battery came with the new hose, and I'll put the new hose in, and should be good. So let's do that. Just gonna cut the top. Yeah, so that's quite damaged. Actually, there might be enough of this tube to reuse. The rest of it looks fine. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna reuse the tube that's in there already. Maybe, if I can get it long enough. We'll see. But yeah, it's important to use the tube. So, get this little plastic caddy thing. There's a new battery. Stick that in. Hose out of the way for now. And just slide it on in. Oh, watch out for the terminals. Battery level looks good. So I'm just going to slide this hose up. And then there's a little spout on the battery. This goes on like that. Tube is in, and it goes under the battery case. There's a little tab here to hold it in. Push it through, and then bend the tab back up. And then we're at the end of the hose, under here, down, and clear shot to make sure it's not pointing directly over anything important. Shove it there, and yeah, it's over mid-air. So, and my battery did come with a new set of screws and washers and nuts and all that good stuff, so I'm just going to use these new ones. A little bolt goes behind here, and this is the negative side right here. And I'll put my charging harness back in. Just feed that through. Should be good. Gonna do a Phillips head with a flat head. My main camera just died, so I'll finish up with my phone. So basically just get your positive back on. Careful not to short anything out, of course. Then put your bracket thingy back in. Yeah, I'm putting a Phillips screw in with a flathead screwdriver because I don't know where my Phillips screwdriver went. And this doesn't have to be super tight anyway. And that should do it. So I'm gonna go get my key and I'm gonna test this thing out, see if she goes.